Well, let's go ahead and call the Senate to order. It's already in order, I'll tell you. Sergeant Arms has a little preemptive closing of the doors here. Members have taken their seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, on this very, very, very happy opening day of Thursday, March 26th, we're very pleased to again have Bishop Antonio Palmer of Kingdom Celebration Center in Gambrills, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the capital city. Please rise for the invocation.
First, before I give the invocation, I would like to always give good respect to the Senate President, Bill Ferguson. You're doing an incredible job. Thank you so much. Also, we thank you for the invitation to Senator Shanika Henson. And I got to give a big shout out to my dear senators, Senator Dawn Gall and Pam Beidel. All right, shall we pray? Eternal God, sovereign ruler of heaven and earth, the one who sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and before whom all nations are as a drop in the bucket. We pause in this moment, not merely out of tradition, but in humble recognition that without you, we have no true wisdom, no enduring justice, and no lasting peace. You are the God who establishes authority and removes it at your will. You are the righteous judge who weighs the hearts of humanity, and you are the source of all truth, equity, and righteousness. So today we invite your presence into this chamber. Let your wisdom rest upon every senator, every staff member, and every decision made in this place. Grant clarity where there is confusion, conviction where there is compromise, and courage where there is fear. Father, we ask that you would govern those who govern. Let every law and policy be shaped not only by political interests, but by a deep sense of moral responsibility and justice. Your word declares that righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. So let righteousness arise in this body today. And Lord, in a time of deep division, teach us how to see one another again, not as enemies, but as neighbors. Where there is polarization, bring understanding. Where there is injustice, bring correction. And where there is despair, let hope arise. Let this body not be driven by partisanship alone, but by purpose. Not by self-interest, but by service to the people. Give these leaders the grace to listen well, the humility to admit when they are wrong, and the strength to stand for what is right. Now, God, we commit this session into your hands. Order every discussion, guide every decision, and let everything done here today contribute to the well-being, stability, and the future of this state and this nation. I pray an apostolic blessing upon this Senate and for the state of Maryland, that it would be forever blessed. Our Father and our God, this is our prayer. Amen and amen.
Recognizing the senator from the capital city.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are truly grateful for the invocation offered by Dr. Antonio Palmer. He is the apostle and lead pastor at Kingdom Celebration Center in Gambrills, Maryland, also the apostle over the Kingdom Alliance of Churches. He did just a few weeks ago return from Kenya and East Africa with my dad, where they lead a global missions trip there. So he does great and outstanding work, not just here in Maryland, but across the globe. I would ask that that wonderful invocation be journalized.
Most certainly. Thank you, Senator. Without objection, we will journalize the pastor's wonderful remarks and appreciate your service and presence with us today. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Has everyone recorded their presence? Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 39 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is again back in session. Let's go ahead and start with recognize the senator from the 29th District.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, we first met Maria, Miss Maryland, and we first met her right here on this floor when she came here representing Leonardtown High School as a page. Right? And she started. So pages, if you would just pay attention to what could happen. But what happened is Maria came here, and then we met her. She's from my district. And she came back, and we hired her as an intern. And she went to work for us as an intern, and she really did a great job. And she applied to college, and she got in to the University of Alabama. She is multilingual. She graduated from there on a full ride in the honors program, both her bachelor's and master's. And during that time period, she became Miss Maryland Teen, Miss Teen Maryland. And so those of you that might have seen her, we brought her up here after that competition. But now that she's graduated, she competed again, and she became Miss Maryland. We have a resolution for her. And by the way, Mom is very proud and sitting over here. So, Mom, you can stand up. So if we could read the resolution in full. Thank you.
The clerk will read the resolution in full.
Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Maria Derisavi in recognition of being named the 90th Miss Maryland and the first crown from St. Mary's County. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 26th day of March, 2026.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? If so, the clerk will take the call. To Miss Maria Derisavi, the Senate of Maryland unanimously celebrates you as the 90th Miss Maryland and the first from St. Mary's County. Congratulations. Well done. I have to say, when she walked into the office, I had a moment of deja vu, and I thought, I know this. Why do I? And it turns out because she was Miss Teen Maryland, and so just 4 short years ago. You know, it's amazing how time flies. So congratulations. All right, let's see. I think that is our only resolution for the day. Other introductions. Senator from the 40th District.
Good morning, colleagues, and thank you. I want to welcome back to the chamber someone that's definitely should be familiar to some of us. Today is Speakers Society, and so many legislators are returning here to Annapolis. Today I have the pleasure of joining us on the floor, my dear friend, our colleague, who served in the House of Delegates from 2007 to 2014, rising up to serving as the Deputy Majority Whip of the Maryland House of Delegates. And in many ways, Mr. President, I followed in his footsteps and his leadership. He served on HGO, I served on HGO, he lived in Ashburton, I moved to Ashburton, but he has continued to be a good friend of mine and a good mentor. He's also, recognizing the Kappa Caucus that's here, he's also a 1985 initiate of the Epsilon Zeta chapter, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. My dear friend here today with us, former Delegate Sean Tarrant. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome, Senator Proud.
And the small story that the good senator doesn't want to say is that in his very first campaign that I happened to be the election day coordinator for, we lost to the Delegate Tarrant by 72 votes. So, you know, teamwork. It was teamwork. It's a small world. Yes, regular senator from the 23rd.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have some guests in the gallery. Guest of Senator Joanne C. Benson of District 24. We have 20 students sitting on each side of the gallery, the government class from Charles H. Flowers High School, located in Prince George's County. Please give them a hand.
Excellent. Welcome. Wonderful to see you all. Thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoy your day down here. Thank you. Yes, Senator from Baltimore County.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We also have some guests of students in the gallery. Maybe they are right behind the president. I'd like to extend a warm Senate welcome to District 11's own Garrison Forest School in Owings Mills. They are led by their teacher, Ms. Kathleen Mest, and they are 6th graders who are visiting us today as part of their signature project. There they are, on teen activism. So we're so glad you're here, and we are looking forward to celebrating our day with you. I'd also like to introduce...
Welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank you all.
I would also like to introduce from the Owings Mills area also, of course, our doctor of the day, Dr. Lee Snyder. She is a Reisterstown resident who practices at Crossroads Eye Physicians in Owings Mills. And she will be here offering virtual reality vision tests, which only take about 3 to 5 minutes. So please go visit her. And we're really happy to see you here today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for being here with us. Is that in the nurse's office, nurse's station? Okay, wonderful. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Yes, Senator from Anne Arundel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two guests with me today. First, I have my firstborn daughter, Addie, who is with me. Shadowing for the day. She's on spring break for another week, 2 weeks of spring break, and so she's with me today shadowing. And then also with her is her friend Eva Lubarski, also a freshman at Severn High School. So thank you. Give them a round of applause.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Great to see you all. Thanks for joining us. Any further? Yes, Senator from the capital city.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we have a truly trailblazing woman that is here with us today. I didn't introduce her when I asked for the comments to be journalized from our pastor because she is in her own right a really trailblazing woman. And in Women's History Month, I think it's only befitting that I honor her in her own way. If she'll stand, Dr. Barbara Ann Palmer is with us on the floor. She is the wife of Pastor and Dr. Antonio Palmer, but in her own right, she's a business owner. She owns the Kingdom Care Child Care Center. She also owns Anne Arundel County's School for Pregnant and Parenting Teen Moms as well. She operates that. And then she is the board president of the National Child Care Center, the Child Care Alliance of nationwide child care center owners. She's an author as well. She is just a wonderful, talented person and a tremendous part of Anne Arundel County. And as we celebrate Women's History Month, she's a personal mentor to me and someone who has just been a wonderful person to have in our county and in our community. And I'm so thankful she could join us here on the floor today. Please give her a very warm Senate welcome.
Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you. Excellent. Very good. All right. Let's see. Any other guests today before we jump in? If not, so we consider the reading of the journal for the prior legislative day. We don't have too much to get through today, so we will get through the floor. Tomorrow's going to be a pro forma, so that's going to adjust our schedule. So we'll get a little bit of, means committees are going to be in full swing. Committees are in full swing for the pro forma tomorrow. We're going to adjust some of the schedule too. We had some things that were planned for tomorrow that we're going to move to next week. So just keep that in mind next Tuesday when we'll be kind of adjusting our schedule as a result of things that had been planned for tomorrow that will move to the following week. But let's go ahead and jump into, we have an executive nominations report. This is report number 6. Clerk will read the report.
Executive Nominations Report Number 6. The Senate Executive Nominations Committee reports favorably on the attached appointments and recommends the Senate of Maryland advise and consent to these appointments.
All right. On the Executive Nominations Report, recognize the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report number 6 contains the Governor's Green Bag nominees for the various boards and commissions that the committee approved on Monday night, including members of the State Board of Education, Medco, and the University System of Maryland Board of Regents. Colleagues, please review the report on your floor system under Other Business. I request that we consider these nominees in regular session under Rule 22A and move that we special order this report until the appropriate time on Friday.
All right, the chair moves that we hear the executive nominations report. Actually, Senator, could we adjust it to Tuesday maybe, if that would?
Yes, we can, on Tuesday.
Perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. So chairs move that we hear the report in open session and special order until the appropriate time on Tuesday. If there are any, assume there are no objections. Without objection, the motions carry. Senators, please take a look at the list. There are a lot of names in there, so please make sure you take a look for any recusals or related issues that you would like to separate out. If there are any separations, please get us to us ahead of time. So thank you very much. All right, let's go to special order calendar number 59. 59. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 890, Senator Guile, Insurance Premium Receipts Tax Exemption for Captive Insurance Procured by Nonprofit Hospitals and Healthcare Systems. Question the adoption of the two committee amendments and the favorable report.
All right, question on the bill remains on the two committee amendments and the favorable committee report. The two committee amendments and the favorable committee report. On the two committee amendments, it looks like there's additional amendments, but on the committee amendments, do we want to, let's take up the committee amendments. Any discussion, any objections? Without objection, the committee amendments are adopted. On the favorable report as amended, any discussion? Recognize the senator from the 42nd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a long colloquy planned with the bill sponsor, but I think she has an amendment. I think the amendment has a problem, so why don't we let her propose her amendment, and then I'm going to talk about that.
Okay, that works. So the question is still on the favorable report as amended. Any discussion or objections to the amended report? Without objection, the amended report is adopted. The sponsor of the bill has an amendment that pages will collect and distribute. Give us just a moment. All right. Senator may explain the amendment. And actually, Senator, if very briefly, if the Senator could explain the general of the bill overall so that we've had this back and forth. So if we just a general summary.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So this bill is related to a kind of complex issue regarding captive insurers. So captive insurers are what entities may set up as a sort of self-insurance. Hospitals use captive insurers because they have a complex risk management overall due to medical malpractice claims, things like that. So they set up captive insurance policies in order to self-insure. When under existing statute, so certain premium receipts tax may be required if, for example, if a captive insurer is buying reinsurance, 3% on tax may be owed in those types of situations. So what the bill did at the outset, out of concern for our hospitals and because of some ambiguity or lack of clarity as to whether or not they were responsible for these premium receipts tax, the bill that came out of committee would have retroactively taken away at least those types of liabilities if they were owed. Going forward, they would have to pay only that 3% premium tax on those if they purchase reinsurance. So it's kind of complex issue. There was some concern that was raised, recognizing also that MIA doesn't have a full picture of what exists for captive insurers, and part of that reason is because they're not registered here in the state of Maryland. Back in 2013, this was looked at as possibly setting up captive insurers here in the state, but there's no regulatory framework to set up captive insurers here in the state of Maryland. So that's why they're often formed either out of the country or out of state. They may have been formed out of the country. You may have heard things regarding the Cayman Islands, for example. That was the only regulatory framework decades ago when hospitals were setting up these captive insurance policies, or these captive insurers. Because of some concerns that were raised, and because there's not a lot of clarity to what we have right now based on what the existing investigations that MIA has ongoing, and out of, I think also concern too for the fiscal health of our healthcare system, and especially our rural hospitals, we thought the best approach would be, and I want to thank the minority leader as well as the senator from Baltimore County, MIA, MHA, the chair of the committee on working on this. We landed on doing a moratorium, and what this amendment does is instead, just as a moratorium, that's it, for 2 years, on any collection of any liabilities that may be owed on this premium receipts tax. And then after 2 years, have MIA do a report back on where the existing investigations are. And so that way we can have an understanding of where they are. So it'd be a moratorium for 2 years on nonprofit entities in the state of Maryland, and then also a report back from MIA.
All right, Senator has moved the amendment. On the amendment, recognize the Senator from the 42nd.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was a pretty good description of a very complicated and elaborate situation. I commend the floor leader for the succinct description of what's going on here. I just received the amendment moments before we convened. It's, as you can imagine, somewhat complicated because the whole issue is complicated. I took a photocopy of it and sent the photocopy to the people I've been working with on this. They tell me there is a serious problem with one provision in the amendment. I have not had a chance, I'm a lawyer, to read the amendment and compare it to the bill myself. So the concerning paragraph is on the third page of the amendment. It says the prohibition established under subsection A shall apply to any existing and retroactive tax liabilities under sections of the insurance article. I am told by the people to whom I texted a copy of this that what this means is that the state of Maryland will have to refund money not just to the hospitals, but to anyone else who has paid the premium receipts tax. And it could be a multi-million-dollar refunds, which the state would have to effect. I can't imagine that was the intent of the amendment maker, but it seems to me we need to take a look at this and make sure we get this right so that we are not obligating the state to refund all these taxes that were paid. So I have two suggestions. One is we could special order this bill for one more day. Alternatively, I have the right under Rule 53 to lay this bill over for 1 hour, and I'm willing to do that so that the group of us could sit together and go over this and try to ascertain whether this language does what I'm told it does. So I'm willing to accept either alternative, but I think as the amendment is written right now, I am told that it does something we don't want it to do.
Thank you, Senator. So just to clarify, the Senator has asked to special order the bill. The Senator made a motion to lay over. The bill has already been laid over for a period within the 80 days.
Yes.
There is a subsequent right, but that is subject to the conclusion of third reading calendars, and there are no third reading calendars on the agenda.
It's either 1 hour or the conclusion of third, whichever comes first. And
correct.
as there's no third reading calendar, I read the rule as suggesting I have an absolute right to 1 hour. I would prefer to lay it to special order it, so we have the weekend to work this out. I think we're all in accordance with the idea of the amendment, but I can't imagine the maker of the amendment really wants to forgive all these taxes and require the state to refund taxes to all these people. That doesn't make any sense. And if that's the case, we should have a hearing on that to decide whether that's good policy.
All right, so the Senator, just the interpretation is incorrect. For the layover, if it has happened and has occurred, it's after the third reading calendar. So that third reading calendar in the agenda is concluded. There is no third reading calendar. Therefore, the layover would be out of order for an hour right now. So if it's the Senator wishes to make a special order.
Yes, I move to special order this till our
Senator's
next
made a motion to
next working
special
day.
order until tomorrow. Let's check with the floor leader.
Mr. President, as you know, where we are right now in session, we want to get this bill over. It's really important to our hospitals, our healthcare system here in the state of Maryland, especially with a lot of the changes regarding the implementation of the head model. They really need some breathing space to understand where we are. So I would resist that motion.
All right, the question remains on the motion to special order. So the question before the body is to special order the bill to the appropriate time on Monday. Appears we have Senator from District 1 on the motion.
I was just going to say, Mr. President, as for the motion, I'd like to support the pushback to not accept the motion. I tend to believe that rural hospitals such as mine can take this amendment and we'll be able to put out better products. So I think we need to roll with this, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. All right, let's check with the minority leader on the motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would support the motion initially, but I would like to maybe know the schedule of what we're going to be doing over the next couple of days that might help with there actually being some time. Would third reader be tomorrow?
We'll have pro forma tomorrow. Monday is probably a very We have a lot going on Monday, unrelated to calendars, and so Tuesday is probably the most likely
Okay.
that we would take up a bill on third reader.
So even if this were accepted, it wouldn't be until Tuesday before we have third reader, and that does give us some time to have some more communication. But just in the spirit of supporting a special order, I would do that, but understanding now the time, I think we would have some time to work this out.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. On the motion of special order, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. No. Noes have it. Question remains on the amendment. Any further discussion on the amendment? Any objections to the amendment without yes, recognize the senator from the 23rd.
Just one question for the floor leader.
Senator may proceed.
Do we have a sense of how much potential tax money we're actually talking about?
There is a fiscal note that came with the bill. I believe the MIA has been looking at it, but honestly, overall, they don't really know. A lot of these investigations are ongoing. There are of the investigations that they have been doing, this is not just merely as far as hospitals. This is applicable to for-profit entities as well, that there have been some that have found that have not been liable for this tax as well. So overall, there's no picture, and that's the whole reason why we want to do this moratorium and do a report back later.
All right, thank you.
All right, question remains on the amendment. Any further discussion? Any objections? Without objection, the amendment is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 890 is hereby ordered printed for third reading. All right, that does it. Desk is clear today. So I believe there's going to be some committee work happening. Let's start there. Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance will meet at 1 o'clock for 12 bills and voting. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Chair of Tripoli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tripoli will meet at 1 p.m. for bill hearings, and then we're going to have a committee work session on energy policy after that. Okay.
All right. Excellent. Energetic. Yes. Budget tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. We will not be meeting today. However, tomorrow at 9 a.m., we will pre-conference in the DLS building, second floor Deschanel room. And then again at 3, we will have the actual conference in the same room, second floor Deschanel room. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Judicial proceedings.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 p.m. for bill hearings.
Excellent. 1 p.m. All right. Any other standing committees? Yes. Senator from Baltimore County delegation.
Thank you very much. Baltimore County delegation, if we can meet in the silver room right after session, we have a quick vote to take. And Mr. President, would it be okay to tell the body about some?
Can we hold for just a minute on
Sure.
it, and we'll go just. Let's get through announcements here. Recognize the senator from executive noms. Chair of Executive.
Thank you, Mr. President. Executive noms will be meeting on Monday at 4:30. Here again, Monday at 4:30 in the Amos room. Thanks. Thanks, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. All right. Yes, budget tax.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to be clear about something because it hasn't been run across the desk yet, and the names of the conferees and the advisors, just so everyone knows that for both the 9 o'clock meeting and the 3 o'clock meeting, all members are part of it in some way, shape, or form. So everyone should be there.
All right. Excellent. Yes, Senator from Howard County.
Yeah, thank you. The Howard County delegation will meet immediately after floor. Since Baltimore County took our spot, we will meet in the old House chambers.
Could flip a coin for it. Yeah. Excellent. Old House. Okay, great. Any other delegations, caucuses? Senator from District 6.
Thank you, Mr. President. A special privilege to talk about one thing briefly that is very important to us. March 26, 2024, approximately 1:29 a.m. On the Patapsco River, there was a collision. The deli ship lost power, and that deli ship hit the key bridge, which made the bridge collapse. At that time, there were 6 construction workers that were working on the bridge. And the time came where emergency boat that came from Edgemere that went out and was the first one that came out to the bridge site. We lost 5 of the people that were there, and 1 was able to swim ashore. But the effect of that, as we know, has been devastating. As you know, this has been and will continue to be an ongoing problem that we do have. But one thing I can say, the Senate of Maryland and the Second House worked together. And Mr. President, we had a bill that we worked together with bipartisanly. And everybody in this chamber worked together with us to make an important bill move quickly before the end of the session. And everybody supported that. And we should be very grateful that we worked together and we saw eye to eye the importance of the people that were lost and the businesses that were affected and are still affected to this today. And we continue to work through this. Mr. President, as we talked yesterday, we continue to work together in ways that we can make a difference as a Senate, as a House, as legislators, to make a difference for our constituents. Let's do this, and let's continue to do this as we work together as legislators. We made a difference in that, and I want to thank you, because in my area, it still affects it today with restaurants and businesses. And I want to thank you to helping the Port of Baltimore, Trade Point Atlantic, and other places that are affected, as well as in Anne Arundel County. We need to continue, and I can't stress it enough, Mr. President, to work together and move this bridge, move it forward for our truck drivers, for our businesses, small and big, for our Port of Baltimore, for Trade Point Atlantic, for every other place that we know that's affected there. Again, let's show that we are different people, that we're different legislators, because Maryland is different. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, as we continue to work in this Senate. We are blessed. Thank you again, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you very much. Recognized Senator from the 37th, followed by the Senator from the 43rd.
Would now be the appropriate time for the protocol announcements? Or
Let's check with the 43rd announcement.
Mr. President, Baltimore City Senate delegation will meet Monday at 3:50 for a brief hearing and a voting session.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you, Senator. All right. Yes, Senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you very much.
Oh, nope, sorry. Oh.
No, Baltimore. Oh,
Montgomery
sorry.
County.
Colleagues, you may remember at the beginning of this session I mentioned Art in Full Spectrum, which is a display of artwork by Marylanders all across the state, Marylanders with disabilities. It's on the fourth floor of the House. On Monday from 3 to 5, we will be having a reception for those artists. Everyone is welcome, and I really encourage you to come by and see the incredible artwork. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much. Let's go to the Protocol Committee now. Senator from the 37th. And if we can invite up the Majority Leader and Minority Leader.
Okay, let's thank the pages.
If we could do the pages.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Okay, colleagues, let's give them a warm Senate thank you to our pages. They're rounding out their second stint with us for this session. Our first page is from District 34, Aberdeen High School, Samia Barksdale. Samia, thank you. Our next page hails from District 26, Crosland High School, Amari Barnes. Thank you. Our next page hails from District 44, Mount DeSales Academy, Nina Campbell. Thank you, Nina. Our next page hails from District 46, Baltimore City High School, Annabelle Fogelman. Thank you, Annabelle. Our next page hails from District 31, Chesapeake Science Point Public Charter School, Amanda Morataya. Thank you, Amanda. Our next page is District 30, Severn School, Cooper Morton. Our next page is District 13, Hammond High School. I'm going to slow down so I get this right, colleagues. Olawakimi Osami Louis. Our next page is from District 15, Poolsville High School, Krish Puda. Thank you, Krish. And rounding it out, District 36, North Carolina High School, Liam Wallace. Thank you, Liam.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Pages. You did a phenomenal job. It truly was excellent, and we're so thrilled to have you. Let's make sure we get a good picture here. Excellent. Well, we wish you the best as you go into your next adventure, and we're so thankful for the work that you do, and know that you will represent Maryland well wherever you head. So thank you all. Ms. Fogelman, please make sure to tell your dad I said hello. Excellent. Well, thank you all. And we'll see some of you all tomorrow. So, excellent. All right, recognize the senator from the 37th, I believe, another protocol announcement.
Actually, we have two more, Mr. President.
Yes,
two
Senator,
more.
please.
First, as a reminder, next Friday, if you haven't seen in the Senate lounge, there's a beautiful panoramic photo, so we can keep this great image forever. They're back there. However, to order that, the deadline is next Friday, the 27th. So if you have a chance, please stop by and see Joy Walker and take care of business there by next Friday. That would be fantastic.
Tomorrow, Senator.
That would be tomorrow, not next Friday.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
tomorrow.
I'm still on daylight savings, right? So that would be tomorrow. So the deadline is looming, so you better get over there very quickly, me included. And then to round it out, permission to use the senators' names.
Please, Senator, may proceed.
Colleagues, we are celebrating a double birthday a day early. We're in pro forma. We won't be here, but two of our distinguished colleagues who are brothers by birth on the same day are going to be celebrating their birthday. So let's give them a warm Senate happy birthday to the one and only Senator J.B. Jennings and Senator Guy Gazzoni. Happy, happy birthday.
Hey. We apologize ahead of time that you won't be exactly where you ever wanted to be on your birthday. So, very good. All right, we're going to go. Yes, Senator from District 11.
Thank you. I neglected to mention that Baltimore County delegation will meet at 2:30 on Monday, and we will likely go long. So 2:30 on Monday at our regular time and regular space. Thank you.
Great, at 2:30 Monday. A couple other administrative announcements. Again, we said for pro forma for tomorrow. This is important, 6:30 on Monday, 6:30 on Monday. So please, please, please try to make sure that you are here on time, 6:30 for Monday, not 8, 6:30. And then the third is committee dinners are on Tuesday. Please make sure to RSVP as we're trying to finalize some of the ordering ahead of time. So that'll be on Tuesday, so please, please RSVP. Any other announcements? Any other announcements before we recognize the Majority Leader for a quick presentation here? If not, let's recognize the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. We mark today the passing of Senator Paula Kalogny Hollinger, who died yesterday. Senator Hollinger was first elected to the House of Delegates in 1979, representing District 12, and then District 11 in Baltimore County. She was elected to the Senate in 1986 and served until 2007. In 2003, she became chair of the Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee, and at that time became the only woman to chair one of the 4 standing Senate subcommittees. She brought her professional experience as a nurse and a teacher into her advocacy for health professions, and she was quoted as saying, "I am most proud of my contribution to health policy in the state of Maryland, including legislation on long-term care, Medicaid, schools and children's health, advanced directives, organ donations, and medical records privacy." After leaving the Senate, she served as Associate Director of the Health Workforce in the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene until 2015, and we extend our sincere condolences to her husband, Paul, and their children and grandchildren.
Thank you for sharing that, Senator. And recognize the Senator from District 11.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I just was reflecting, I found out about this news this morning, and I was reflecting back, and it was almost exactly a year ago when I stood on this floor and talked about Senator Hollinger as somebody who was a role model and mentor to me and very important to this body in celebration of Women's History Month. It was actually March 6, 2025. I found my remarks. She was very moved by it. There are so many people here who served with her, staff who worked with her, and word got back to her in Florida, and she was just so thrilled. I know she was so proud of all of her efforts here, so much on healthcare. As the senator from Montgomery County said, she was a nurse. She was small in stature, but mighty and quite a fighter. very passionate about serving her constituents, very passionate about the issues, and women's reproductive rights was certainly at the top of her list as well. And I know that you will join with me, as the senator said, in sending condolences to her family. And I'm just sorry for her family and all of our loss. Thank you.
And actually, Senator, I'd like to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn in memory of Senator Paula Hollinger.
Without objection, certainly we will adjourn in her honor today. And she was truly a mighty warrior, small stature, mighty warrior. I remember first getting elected, she was one of the first people that called me, and we talked about EHE and all. It was fascinating. She's just a true leader, So, all right, on that note, also we will make sure, if we get details about the arrangements, we will make sure to pass along as we do through the Secretary's office. All right, any final, anything for the good of the order before we adjourn? If not, let's do a quorum call.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 43 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session, recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Friday, March 27th for an 11 o'clock pro forma session.
Excellent. Without objection, so ordered.
And adjourning today in honor of Senator Paula Hollinger.
Absolutely. So ordered. Have a wonderful day and weekend, everyone. Let's go O's.